Welcome to another episode of Just Some Points. As every week, I'm looking forward to hear what Catherine and Melissa have to say. Melissa, you want to get going today?
Sure. So today I'm actually going to talk about the subscription box e-commerce model because this past week I opened up my email and I realized how many of them there really are out there that were trying to advertise to me. So I was kind of just curious and looked into like how big this industry is. And the first thing that surprised me was that this is a $15 billion industry.
Wow.
And 15% of US consumers have at least one yearly subscription box that they have.
How many?
15% of US consumers.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge, 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 huge. And the top types of boxes are either boxes where you get sample sizes of different things, whether it's like skincare or home improvement or whatever it is, or they are like replenishment boxes. So once you run out of those samples and you decide to go to the full model, you set up subscriptions to get them each month or quarterly or however you do it. And the top industry is the fashion industry, and it's growing rapidly. Like Stitch Fix is probably the most common fashion subscription box out there. But now individual brands are also coming out with their own subscription boxes. And not just like low end brands, they're very like high fashion, like Ralph Lauren launched a subscription box for $125 a box.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's getting really, really big, especially in the fashion industry. But the thing that I did notice is that the cancellation fees are still fairly high. So it seems like the model is that they get you for about like 3 months or 3 boxes or whatever at like a lower discount, and then they move into the full price. But it's hard. The cancellation fees are still pretty high at about 40%. So people are kind of jumping around a lot, trying different boxes, getting the best deals, and then kind of dropping them once they're done with it. So I just thought it
That's
was
interesting. So, I wonder if it's just a trend at the moment to have these boxes, and then people try it and say, well, I don't really need it every month. Also, I think I was a Stitch Fix subscriber for, well, until the pandemic hit. Actually, not until the pandemic hit, and then I felt I don't need it anymore. And they made it actually not easy for me to actually stop it. And I think what will have to happen is to give consumers options to still maintain, using them, but maybe not every month or so. And I think some of them do that already. But I think that's where also, competition is good, where, different providers can provide different models.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the different frequency models is probably the biggest factor that consumers take into account.
I have one. It's called CauseBox. It's like items that you can use around the house that are sustainable items. And it's a quarterly box, and they do previews of the items in the box. And this past box, I was like, I don't really want any of this stuff. I couldn't really use it. So I just sent them an email and they let me pause it. So I got to skip this box, but still keep my membership.
That's exactly what I think is needed. That's very smart business, in my opinion, because of that, they keep you, you're a happy client, and
Exactly.
You don't feel that you got jerked into something that you really don't need, but you stay as a customer, you keep spending money with them. I think that's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So it was just interesting to kind of look into this entirely, fairly new business model and see what they were doing in terms of like the e-commerce market that we know.
Yeah, but I think the whole concept will probably expand more in almost any aspect of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Since we all don't want to go to the mall anymore, want to have everything sent home, and even the services, for example, I know a business, they provide basically legal services out of the box, meaning every month, you have a certain amount of services you can tap into and can use, and if you have problems, So it's not quite the same, but the principle is still the same,
Yeah.
where you pay a fixed fee and you get value for it.
Yep.
You know, and the benefit for the selling business is obviously revenue stability. You know what's coming in. You might get less per customer, but you get it very stable every month.
Yep.
Right.
So interesting.
Mhm.
Catherine, what do you have for us today?
Today I'm going to be talking about Microsoft advertising, which is also Bing advertising. They're changing that name recently. But they just announced that they're doing automotive ads. So it's in beta right now in the United States and the UK. But what it is advertisements with listings for cars. So if you're looking for some kind of car, instead of just having the line items, it comes up kind of like how Google Shopping ads come up with, you know, the photo, the description. It also includes information like the mileage, the year, make, model, things like that, and the price. And then it links out to the full website. So it's definitely a lot easier for
Oh,
people.
so is it like the products in Google? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, just specifically for the cars.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Well,
it's
the car
definitely
market is a huge market. That industry is changing rapidly at the moment, because I think what we will see in the next 5 years, or 5 to 10 years, if that long, I think we will see the car dealers disappear.
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah, so I did test it and I like Googled for searching for a car and none of the visual ads really came up. And then I went on Bing and searched for a car and it was like the top results were all of the like visual listings. I could see the car and all the information right there. So it definitely would be a lot easier if you are searching for a car to find one through Bing rather than Google, just because the display is right there. So it, like we said, it is very similar to the Google Shopping ads. So I do see this as something that, you know, Google will probably step in and do as well. But I think it's
Do you know, did they say anything if they want to expand that into other areas? I assume they will probably.
the article I saw didn't mention it, but I assume they would. Like I said, right now it's in beta, so I'm sure that they're going to just keep expanding it.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Cool. Very, very interesting. I took a little bit of a different route today, a little bit like Melissa. It's what I'm talking about today is not necessarily new, but it was triggered by 2 meetings I had with clients this week that struggled with some business processes and operational processes. And I thought, I want to talk about the opportunities small and mid-sized companies especially have today to have really world-class infrastructures for very little money. Let's say you're a startup or a small company. Just going through, I made an example of what you can get today for very little money. Let's say if you're a startup or a small company growing, first of all, you used to have a file server and a server we had everything on, and even way back email servers and stuff like that. Now, if that's needed anymore, you can go to Google for Business, and for $12 a month, you have a complete email, file sharing, calendar functionality, online meeting platform for your business, and brand it with your own URL. Our infrastructure is complete on Google for Business. Doesn't cost a lot. Telephone system. We used to have actually a physical telephone system in our office. We just operate virtually now. So now you can have virtual telephone systems. There's no need more for a box in your office. You can go with the Ring Central. Ring Central you could use, for example, for very small businesses with just one telephone number and one telephone picking up, to nationwide systems with complicated menus and everything. Doesn't cost a lot and very simple to manage and operate. Websites, very simple today. We have clients, we just got assigned a new client. He's actually doing most of the website himself. use WordPress, downloaded a template for the website and configuring it. You need an e-commerce website. You can go to Shopify, Amazon, or eBay and can have a fully processing e-commerce site for your business in a day, and it's processing the financial transactions. Not a big deal anymore. You need to be HIPAA compliant. If you're in healthcare, just find the right hosting company that can do it HIPAA compliant. You want to have HIPAA compliant forms? There's a solution out there. Slugsite, for example, where you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to find the right cloud-based solutions. You want to have appointments on your website and want that they show up on your clients and your patients' calendar. No problem. There's Cogsworth. Can use that. Doesn't cost a lot, and it can offer something new to your clients.
Mm-hmm.
Financial reporting, finance, accounting, invoicing, time reporting of your employees. No problem. QuickBooks. Sign up. You can have it set up on a day. Then let's say you have a website, all forms being filled out. You could have that information directly sent into your CRM system. Insightly, we have that. Use it. That's how we manage all the contacts. And we have that set up with MailChimp. Also, not very expensive. MailChimp is no longer just an email marketing system. It's actually an email automation system, which is incredible. These systems became very, very powerful over the years. You want to manage your bios and in Google My Business, use TreeHouseTrack. It's one of our systems. It can do that very, very easily. It doesn't cost a lot. On the marketing side, let me just show you. I send you guys a link. We'll have that show for the watchers. If you go to the variety of systems you have, it's mind-boggling. First of all, the categories of systems you have in marketing, and what you see here, there's like I think 5,000 different systems you could use. So it's a matter of you have an idea what you want to do. There is a system out there. It's just a matter of finding it and finding the right system. You grow, you need an HR system, no problem. You can sign up today, and in the afternoon you can have it set up for all your employees to work. So the reason why I bring this up, I see still often clients struggle with operational processes, and they jump through hoops to make certain things happening, and they don't really go online and really think first what might be out there. So my advice on that is don't reinvent the wheel. When you have a problem, always think about how can I digitize that, and then go out and look for systems. Again, most of those systems are cloud-based systems, and they don't cost a lot on a monthly basis. Rethink your approach to problems. Where in the past you thought about implementing a new system and installing something on your server and so on and so forth. Don't do that anymore. It's much more cost efficient to do it in the cloud. And then also the type of people you need. We still have clients, mid-sized practices, medical practices. I have IT guys. IT guys want to do IT stuff, meaning your IT is how you make your money. So you still continue to push the servers and the infrastructure and all of that stuff. But in the future, I think businesses should, rather than looking at necessarily at IT guys, maybe look at business people with a heavy technology background and look for solutions this way, because I really don't think that how you run a company today in terms of infrastructure and systems is the way how it used to be. You're not a modern company, and I'm closing with that. Consumers have much higher expectations today, what they expect, and you can literally be a two-person shop and function almost like Amazon and everything automated, and at a very small budget. And so I had 2 meetings with clients this week where, they struggle with it. And then I talked with them about this approach, and it was kind of, oh, didn't think about that. I didn't think about that. And it's just the magnitude of systems, the number of systems out there. You guys, it's your life. Everything you do every day, right? In digital, how many systems do you use on a given day?
At least 10, probably. Yeah, but what I was going to say is that even if you don't know how to, even if you don't know how to find these systems, there are websites out there where you could search for, there's like Capterra, for example, where you can search directories of different platforms depending on the needs that you have.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then the other exciting thing with cloud-based systems, a lot of them, most of them, have a lot of integration capabilities, meaning they talk to each other. And if you have 2 systems that don't talk to each other, there's a good chance that they might talk with an integration package that allows you to then integrate those systems. So I thought it was worthwhile to talk about that, because I think, especially older companies, that basically have a lot of legacy systems and are doing the things they used to do, they sometimes just forget how you can run business today, and it can be very lean.
Yep.
Okay, thanks a lot. That concludes today. Hope to see you next week.